This the bunker, yeah, this the bunker. This the bunker, welcome to the bunker. This the bunker, yeah, this the bunker.
Good people, what's up? Let's go. Listen, happy Wednesday. Super excited. Hope all is well. We back at it, man. It's the bunker. We here. Where we turn obstacles into stepping stones and dreams into reality. Let me get my mic check. I think my mic check's good. Yep. I'm your host, Murph, aka Mr. Motivation. Flat out excited for today, for tonight. We got a dope lady coming up. So next up on the bunker, she's not just shifting systems, she's reshaping the soul of leadership. Meet Jacqueline, Jackie Benjamin, a transformational strategist, consultant, and community builder. From the boardroom to sacred rest circles, she's helping women reclaim space, joy, and vision, while guiding businesses toward clarity and culture that sticks. This one's for the caregivers, the change makers, and anyone ready to lead with both head and heart. But before we bring her out, we got to kick things off the only way we know how. The 3-2-1 with Murph, where I share 3 thoughts I have, 2 quotes, and 1 powerful question for you. All right, 3 thoughts. Oh, man. So rest is not passive, it's powerful. The systems we build are only as strong as the people who sustain them. And it's funny, I talk about this all the time, when I do mental health first aid. I talk about the first aid of you got self-care, you got to take care of yourself. You always say you can't pour from an empty cup. Well, there's something, what my guy, who was the Josh? I'm on the phone with Josh, right? This was my first creative director, and Josh was like, it's like 3 p.m. and I'm started yawning. And Josh like, oh, you still ain't getting no rest, huh? And I'm like, what you talking about? I get up about 4:30, go to bed by midnight. So it's about a 4-hour spin. And he talked to me about the circadian rhythm. And I ain't never heard about this, right? Before I get into that thought, let me share what I have learned since then. So our bodies are wired with a natural 24-hour clock called a circadian rhythm, and it regulates when we feel alert, focused, or fatigued. It's not just about sleep, it's about timing, y'all. When we ignore it, we fight against our biology, leading to burnout, mood swings, and low performance. But when we honor it by aligning our work, rest, and recovery with our body's rhythm, we unlock more energy, better focus, and a deeper healing. Bottom line, rest isn't lazy, it's biological. It's a biological strategy. And you don't need more hours, you need a better rhythm. So there's this thing called a chrono type quiz, and you take it and you kind of understand where you lie. I am, ironically enough, I love this. I'm the lion. My score is like a 57. Wake up early, 5 a.m. mostly, and mostly energetic and productive before noon. That's me. So I'm gonna encourage you to tap in and see who you are. You the bear, the wolf, or the dolphin. Learn more about that. 2, leadership is not about being loud. It's about being aligned. True influence flows from integrity. And what's cool, right? So I was just listening to Miles Monroe, and there's this YouTube, what is it called? Zip your mouth. Zip your mouth. Go find that. It's about an hour. And it talks about the discipline in silence and how, the loudest person in the room is really not that person. The person who's sitting back observant And then when they decide to speak, it's like, ooh, so tap into that. That's what I wanted to share with you. And lastly, you can't automate empathy. In every transformation, don't forget the people. I like that. So let's dive into our quotes. First quote, empathy can't be outsourced or automated. It must be practiced. No matter how efficient your systems become, never forget, transformation only sticks when people feel seen, heard, and valued. Quote 2, you either walk inside your story and own it, or you stand outside your story and hustle for your worthiness. Shouts out to Brene Brown. It's one of my favorite dudettes. And the number one prompt for you, where in your life are you constantly giving but rarely receiving? Where in your life are you constantly giving but rarely receiving? I want you to stew on that. That's a 3, 2, 1, y'all. Oh, wait, I got the chat feature. I be forgetting about the chat feature. Anybody tapping in, my listeners and viewers, what's up to y'all? Shouts out to you. And you. Man, matter of fact, shout outs. I was just with, I just left Barbados. Shouts out to the Caribbean Massive, Virgin Massive for Crop Over. And I was hanging out. My girl, she's on tour. Faith Calendar, what up? Paul Paris, big up yourself, the Paul Paris agency. So Faith, we were just in Boston, and she did a nice show. It was dope, real dope. That's one of my faves in the soca space. So yeah, let's get into it. So without further ado, before we let me paint the full picture. You dig? Today's guest doesn't just wear multiple hats. She builds new blueprints for how leadership, healing, and systems can coexist. Jackie Benjamin is the founder of Blueprint and Beyond Co., Atomic D Solutions, and the Wellness Collective, 3 distinct but powerfully aligned ventures rooted in helping both organizations and individuals move with intention. A native New Yorker, shouts out to New York. Based in Atlanta, Jackie brings over 15 years of strategic and operational leadership, guiding companies through growth, restructuring, and organizational transformation. But Jackie's power doesn't stop at metrics and models. She also created soft spaces, sanctuaries for women who carry much, but are really given the room to pause, breathe, and receive. Her work with the Wellness Collective is a reminder that nourishment is not a luxury, it's a requirement. She leads with insight, care, and a fierce commitment to alignment. Jackie is what happens when soul meets system, and the result is legacy. All right, hold on, let me get her right, and bring her out. Boom. Please join me in welcoming to the stage the brilliant, boundless Jackie Benjamin. You dig?
Oh, what an introduction. Y'all did y'all research.
Hey, shouts out to my girl Faith, Fritz, Miss Sharon, Tim, the whole team. Yeah, we researched. Well, listen, we don't just show
You
up.
asked me for a bio, but that's beyond the bio. There's stuff that I haven't even launched to the community yet. It's still in sacred spaces, but now, welcome to the forefront. Everything.
Listen. We unpacking, we unearthing some stuff. Listen, you look good, my friend. It's been so long.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh,
you look good yourself. You keeping it fresh, straight from crop over.
Oh, listen, I was upset because I'm rushing getting my daughter from gymnastics, and I was like, all right, do I got enough time to stop and get this bottle of wine? I said, yes, I'm gonna do it. So I stopped. And I needed to go shave. I'm not photo shoot ready.
You are photo ready. Women like a little scruffy,
Miss Jackie. So, this is gonna be fun, y'all. So tell the people how we know each other, man.
Okay. So we have mutual friends from long time. We've traveled in similar circles. Back in New York, I would say, what we want to call that? The cultural explosive scene back in our 20s and 30s. And
I like that.
yeah, we had a time, but we really locked in when you joined the Royalty Project as a mentor. So the Cultural Enrichment Initiative, known as the Royalty Project, where the key focus is the mentor program. And you joined as a mentor, and not only joined as a mentor, of course, if you in it, you don't do anything halfway. It's gonna be, I'm not just gonna mentor, I'm gonna facilitate a workshop, I'm gonna bring the energy, I'm gonna do the thing. And you did that. So you facilitated, I believe it was the self-expression workshop, which was very fitting for your personality and what you bring out of people and pour into people is expression of self and showing up bold and all of that. So that's where we really locked in when we connected and you were a mentor and in that space. You had been trolling a little bit from the sidelines, like, hold on, what's she doing? What's happening over there? I see kids, I see mentoring, I see Black excellence, I see stuff that's going on. And the beauty of the pandemic is it allowed us to be not just in Harlem, like it allowed us to be in 3 time zones across the country. And it allowed mentors who had been kind of fanfaring to be like, I want to be a part of this. And it allowed kids to join from all over the place. And it was great. So glad you had the opportunity to do that, because I know you don't get to go to your stomping grounds in Brooklyn or in Harlem very much these days. But yeah, there were lots of possibilities that came out of the pandemic, and that was one of them.
Yeah, I remember my daughter, for y'all that don't know, viewers and listeners, my daughter's a gymnast. We on a journey to the Olympics Trust, I believe. And I used to drive I was in Pennsylvania, and I used to drive to somewhere in Baltimore. Dominique Dawes had a gym. So I would take her down there. So I remember one of the calls, I had to like pull over, and I'm like, I needed the service because I was like, I was doing something. I had to speak but the Royalty Project was so dope. Let's hang out here.
Okay.
How did that come about? Are you the executive director or catch me up?
Yeah, so I founded the organization. I mean, people like to kind of put me as the founder, but it really was a collective work. So it was some really dope people that we got together and we did some brainstorming sessions in my 2-bedroom apartment in Harlem. And we really kicked out a curriculum, social, emotional, Common Core, all of that, of something that was not sports, not entertainment. And it infused those things because those are a part of Black excellence. But what it really focused on is self-awareness and revealing the richness and the magnificence of what it means to be of African ancestry. And it flourished in a way that was larger than what I could have envisioned initially, but it's still, resurrection is coming soon. And now that I'm in Black Hollywood, this is a very big space. An announcement that I'm not going to make right now, but we're going to just put some seeds in there for spring 2026. But we'll talk about that later. But the Royalty Project itself, it was a cultural enrichment initiative. I'm the founder, executive director. I serve as executive director, and we have a board of people and a bank of 60, 70 mentors, kings and queens that really understand the importance of knowing where we come from and the importance of seeing Black men and Black women in cooperation working together. Even if you come from a 2-parent household, you don't often see your parents working on a project together and get that special divinity that happens when men and women come together and build something together and bring each the strength that they possess innately together. And it's just like a special thing. It's a beautiful thing. It's divine. And so we had 7 workshops or 7 weeks and 6 workshops that had a full curriculum, activities, all of that for youth age 10 to 14, culture, missing history, beauty, wealth, melanin, all of those things, full curriculum. And then we took the youth on what's called a royal voyage. So we were coming from Harlem, coming from Queens, coming from New York, and then taking them down to DC, to the museum, or to Philly, where the Constitution was signed. But there are also a lot of plaques and things that happen in Philadelphia of how we had our journey to freedom as Black people living in America. And then it's the final, the culmination, the rites of passage, which is a crowning ceremony. Yeah. So big stuff.
Man. So now, how'd you come up with this concept? I know you said the team did, but like y'all was sitting around.
You know, it's we so at the time we launched, we were in our early to mid 30s, right? And so what was happening is we would be on the subway or encounter youth in ways that was distant and remote and hear things coming out of their mouths and probably things that we said when we were younger, but as we got older it's like, oh, that's disrespectful.
Right,
And the
right,
youth
right.
don't respect, you know, they don't have no respect for themselves and all of that. And just coming into the knowledge that we did in our 20s and 30s, just this desire to give back. And many of us either had very, very young kids or didn't have kids at all. And so what we decided was, what can we do? We want to do something. And I had just read Carter G. Woodson's book, The Miseducation of the Negro. And he talks specifically about how the educated Negro has removed themselves from the community. And that hit me. That really hit me. So we were trying to figure out, okay, what ways can we do it? So we mentored. We did the mentor thing, took kids to different places. We know a lot of educators are in our group. So we did have access to youth and all that. And then when we really buckled down and said, let's formalize this, people want to mentor. They just don't know how. Right. You don't necessarily want to do Big Brother, Big Sister, or YMCA because those organizations don't necessarily hit exactly where we need them to hit in terms of elevating our ideas of what it means to be Black and the magnificence and the history. And then all that, all the nonsense was going on in the schools, removing, certain things out of the curriculum, not talking about certain things that were triumphs for us that we need to know. And it's an uncomfortable history. We have an uncomfortable history. It's American history. It's Black American history. It's African American history. So we felt compelled to infuse that, but in a way that's fun. And then also having that connection. And what happened was we thought the youth were going to get more out of it than we were. But from working with youth, that what happens when you mentor youth is this reverse mentoring that happens. And that was what was really special. The reverse mentoring, where it was like they were saying things that were challenging the way we thought about things. Their responses were so limitless. They hadn't been rejected and told no and had all these failures and had all these insecurities. So they're like, why don't you change jobs? If you don't like your job, why don't you just change jobs?
Right.
Why don't I just change
and
jobs?
Like,
I went natural because one young lady, 14 years old, she was like, oh, miss, you still relaxing your hair? That's not good for your hair. And I was like, you're right. It's that reverse mentoring that's happening. And they're getting a lot out of it, but so are we.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, and I taught middle school, high school, college, and for my middle schoolers, I know I learned more from them than they did from me. Because it was like, I remember one time, I tightened up after this. So I was a special ed teacher, but I was one of them like floating teachers. Black men in education, they kind of put you everywhere because you got like classroom control.
Because you're the disciplinarian, you're the fun one too, you're the one everybody gravitates to. And especially if there's somebody that's challenging, you're the one that can relate to them more, of course.
Right. So I was him, and I came in one day, I'm saying, principal, what you want me to do today? He said, I got this math for you. I said, all right, cool. Or it was the day before, but I really didn't prep for the class, and I got in there.
That's honest.
And I was like, I did something. Yep, that's it. That's it. No, sir. That ain't it. I'm like sweating because I knew it wasn't it. I was just like, oh, this is the worst. And I just couldn't wait to get out of there. And I said to myself, so you will never be unprepared again. You will never, not that. Like for this sixth grader to look at me, he stared me in my egg whites. He said, oh, no, that ain't it. We got to do that again. And he was right. Yeah. And I couldn't even spaz out. I mean, why would you? You like,
no.
You know what it is. I was unprepared, sir.
Because that blocks your growth.
Correct.
Correct. If you get defensive, it blocks your growth.
So I had to eat that. But hanging out here. So Ms. Jackie, talk to me about what was your childhood like? You had 2-parent household. How'd you grow up?
Okay, I had both. So I had a single young mother, but we lived with my grandparents. So my grandparents, are since passed, but they were together since they were teenagers, late teenagers, early 20s. So they had been together a very long time. So I did have two parents in the house, but my mom was a single mother.
Now, and growing up, who's like, yeah, like, who's the role model? Who'd you like model after? Who's like your hero?
You know, I didn't know this until I was older, but there was a lot of love in my house and a lot of people in my house. I'm the first grand, and my grandparents had four kids, and at one point we all lived up in there. And my aunt Wanda, she, if I look back and I think like who has been a consistent role model in my life, it was her. And the reason why it's her is because she, no matter what she was going through, she always maintained a positive outlook. She always told people how it was. She was very honest, but it was in love, always in love. She was very regimented, disciplined, woke up early, which I wish I inherited that. You were saying that in your opener, and you were like, I'm a 5 a.m.er. And I'm like, I'm a 8:20-ish. And I thought it was just going to come. I thought I was going to turn 40, and it was like, old people get up early. But no, it's in you or it's not. I got to have a good reason, like a flight, to get up early.
Right.
And my Aunt Wanda was definitely still today and yesterday and the day before and all the days. She's been my role model.
That's a shout out to Aunt Wanda. So, I mean, you've done so much. I don't even know what direction to go in. Corporate. I think when I was in your world, it was Ralph Lauren, right?
Yeah, Ralph Lauren, but I won't chastise you about that. But I think I've corrected you about that before.
I'm gonna fight you. So see, hey, what you're gonna do is, I just talked about this. I need her to go watch that clip on Miles Monroe about zip your mouth, because it talks about you don't have to correct people all the time, okay?
I'm trying to elevate you. And I just, you know what? I'm fresh off of listening to The Way of the Superior Man. So I I'm supposed to. I'm a hot woman. I'm supposed to sharpen you. I'm supposed to invigorate you. I'm supposed to make sure you're better. That's my role on this planet.
The Way of the Superior Man. You know what's crazy about that? No, I'm thinking about two things. So I'm reading The King, the Magician, the Warrior. That one, and it talks about, you know, how in our society today we don't have that boyhood to manhood rites of passage. So actually, this is like perfect for like the Royalty Project, because I'm thinking about this aloud. And it says like men grow into adulthood, but they still are boys. So you gotta address the adult as the boy that's really inside. And I'm reading this like, this is fascinating.
Yeah.
And
maturity is not like the tide. It doesn't all rise. So you might be mature academically, you might be mature in business, but you may not be mature in personal relationships, in fatherhood, whatever it is. Like it doesn't all, you could have some and not have all, you know?
Now, was your grandfather like the father figure for you?
No, my grandfather was silent. He was, born in the early 1900s. He was a veteran. He was a window washer, which is, you got to get to the city. I don't even think that's a profession anymore, but you got to get to the city at 6 o'clock in the morning. So he's leaving Queens and doing all of that, to Fair Zone and all that, to get all the way to Manhattan, do what he got to do. And he's back home by 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But and then what he would do was either retreat to the basement or retreat to the backyard, depending on the weather. And we didn't really exchange much, you know? He didn't really talk much. He provided, he protected. I do remember instances where my aunt or my mom had an issue with a guy, and there was a baseball bat at the door. So, you know, like instances like that where he had to step in. But there wasn't really like fatherhood happening, but there was a secure, steady person that I knew if something went down, he would protect us. And I think now that I'm older, before I was like, I didn't really have a relationship, but yeah, it was a relationship, and it was the protection it's like that it's not what's required of parenting and partnership now. Every time requires a different thing. But that's how he knew how to be a good man, a good husband, a good father, is to be there. Is to be there. So nobody can come to the house with no riffraff. He was the protector and the provider.
That's dope. That's dope. Yeah, it's funny because I grew up, no father figure, and I was like, how's that shape you?
Yeah.
I know I had fear into going into fatherhood because I didn't know what that, like, how do you show up? There was no blueprint.
I feel like that's making y'all better fathers. I feel like everybody in my generation that didn't have a father, every man that didn't have a father, they know what they wanted. Maybe they didn't have a blueprint for fatherhood, but you know what you wanted. So that makes you just said you driving to Baltimore to go to Simone Biles' gym to take your daughter because she's going to be an Olympic gymnastic, so you, or even the example, the example's nice. However, you know what you wanted. Like, wanted, and it's different from partnership. Partnership, we need research, we need examples, we need therapy, we need couples therapy. But with parenting, you know what it was like to be a child, and you know what you would want for your child. So I don't have no sympathy for you not having a father be a father.
We ain't asked for nothing, buddy. Listen, I tell people, because it was like, how do you become a dope dad if you didn't see one? And to your point, I just dreamt what I wish I had and like 10x that.
Yeah, and 10x that. That's the beautiful part.
Oh yeah, 10x that. So that's really a note for any of about to be fathers, new fathers. My approach is interestingly unique. So Ms. Jackie, a lot of my people I talk to, they either stuck in life, stalling, or starting over. So what's your relationship with failure?
My relationship with failure.
Yeah. Historically, well, not historically, I'd venture to say a lot of people are afraid to fail.
Yeah.
Then I remember I had my girl on, shouts out to Natalie. She said in her household, failure was never an option. So I was like, I've heard that too. So what's your take?
Fear of failure is common, and I think we should make that more common. Fear is common, but having the courage to go beyond your fear, that's where your character lies. Even the strongest people, even the people that public speak, and the number one fear is public speaking over death. Public speaking is the number one fear over death. And if you ask anyone that speaks publicly in front of 10 people or 10 million people, they still get nervous when they're about to speak. But they do it anyway. And that's the courage that you have. So my relationship with fears, I have a lot of fear. I have a lot of fears, but I also have a lot of courage to do it anyway, because I always remind myself, you get one life, and we treating it like we get another trick, like this is the practice and we get another chance at it. And you don't. So you have to fall forward. You have to fall hard. My failures are more in rejection, in disappointment. Those are my failures, because there isn't a thing that I said to myself I wanted to do that I didn't try. Not one thing. And as petrifying as some of the things were, I still did it. I just submitted a proposal for a raise, a title change, a promotion, all of that, right? And I was scared to press send. I had given my employer notice that I was going to do it, and I was scared to press send, but I still did it. Like that's a fear from 15 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago. You understand what I'm saying? So I have fears every day. I facilitate workshops. I go into businesses and direct them on how to hindsight their business to create strategies for the future, and not based on like some blueprint, based on like, let's talk about what's your demand? What need are you fulfilling? Whatever it is, whether it's a nonprofit need or a very profitable need. What is the end goal? And let's create processes that get you to that goal. Scared or not. Let's do that. And my job in that is life coaching. It's coaching people not to be scared. And I do that in my private life, my personal life, my professional life. It permeates through it all. So that's why it's like a blurred line between where my personal and my professional life begins and where my personal and my professional failures begin and end. But what's failure to me is the disappointment and it's the rejection. And then I just got to figure out, okay, well, how did that go? Or maybe I don't evaluate it. I just put it in a box of like, you're not going to succeed in everything. What's the lesson? Okay, well then let's move forward to the next thing. And some of my rejections ended up being better transition in the long run. You know, you were talking about some of your the people that you talk to having like stagnation or a big transition in your life. I'm in the middle, probably more toward the end, but in the middle of a transition. So for 18 years, I was in corporate retail. And the last 10 of those was executive level. So hustling, intern, trainee, assistant, you know, all the levels, management, and, you know, all the levels, right? And I was comfortable in that. I enjoyed it. 2020 hit. I was like, I got to do something else. And even though we had launched the Royalty Project and it was like I was doing well and gainfully employed and able to live the lifestyle I wanted and all of those things and create lifestyles for people within my family, right? 2020 was like, well, who are you if you are not an executive? Who are you? And what would you do even if you didn't get paid for it? And I know that's so cliche, but it's the real. It's like, what do you naturally do? I naturally improve things. I naturally take something. My name is Jacqueline. It's the root of it is Jacques. And the meaning of it is to supplant, to take something existing, rip it out by force, and put in something else in its place. And that is the life that I live. It is making things, transitioning things better. But instead of kind of supplanting them with force, I do it with love. I lead with love with everything, So right now, in 2020, I left corporate America, but I also fell in love with my now husband, and life changed. We decided to move our family down to Georgia from Harlem. I'm originally from Queens, by the way. So when you say, you know, as a New Yorker, you know, when you say where you from, you say Brooklyn. You better cut it out. I'm from Queens, born and raised. But I lived the past before I moved down to the A. I lived in Harlem for 11 years, which was a great experience. But we decided to move our family for real estate, for parking. And I think parking is a bigger priority than even the real estate. But the real estate, for what I could get, you know, a box, I could get a mansion down here. You understand what I'm saying? So it just the math was mathing better down here. But I didn't have the connections. I didn't have the network. I didn't have, you know, and Atlanta's a tight hold down here. Yeah. You got to know people. So I was getting rejection for job after rejection. So then I, you know, started to do some consulting and did some things around process improvement. And then I started facilitating workshops around financial mastery and business and all that. So anyway, all that to say, I'm still in transition. I have some clients. I have some really, you know, some primary clients that are, or a primary client. And then I have other clients in the world of strategy, operations, business improvement, business building. But I'm still in transition in that. And what could have happened is when I was getting all these rejections from things that I knew I was qualified for, I could have said, just, you know, whatever, just been helpless. But I took advantage of the little opportunity here, the little opportunity there. And what really goes unsaid, especially for a woman, is in the foundational parts of your marriage, for you to have not be as demanded at work is a beauty to the foundational parts of your marriage. I was able to pour into my home. I was able to prepare my husband for the world every day. I was able to clean, cook, create a system around the house. Like, those things are undervalued, but I place so much gratitude in divine rejection because I had the space to do that. And that was really important. If I was still in New York and gainfully employed, and the first year, that year where you're supposed to be partnering, there might have been things that my husband would have said, I don't think you should buy that. And I would have been like, but it's my money. You know what I'm saying? But no, I was forced to. And it was a blessing. It's a blessing that I was forced to, because then we learned how to partner together. Two people, we got married. I was 40, he was 38. We got married when we had already completed a large part of adulthood. But, you know, blending those two together when we already have our own systems, we already doing our thing, that can be clashing. And I don't know if you know this, Sean, but I might be considered an alpha female. That might be what people might say about me if they was talking about me, right? And so that's a greater challenge. It's a greater challenge to submit to the will of what's best for us as a union, but also to what he says, even if I disagree with it. So
that's
it's
powerful.
that trust. It's
Run
that
that
trust
back,
that you
ladies.
deserve it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Share. So tell me, which one is the company that's yours?
So Atomic D Solutions is actually his company. That's his company.
Okay.
And I am lead strategist in his company, or COO, whatever you want to call it. Like we do when we have things. His is a data solutions company. So companies come, and you know, people that are data focused, they don't necessarily want to hear and talk to the client.
Oh yeah.
So I'm the one that talks to the client. What do you need? What is it you need? You know, so I give that little bit of nurturing touch, because people don't know what they want. They know they like, I want my website to work like this. I want to be able to create a virtual experience for people, but I don't know. And then he knows the code and the script, but he doesn't really want to listen to all of the things to get where we need to go. So I do that. I love people. I love talking to, so I love listening. So I do that. So that's that's my function and my service, to that company. And we continue to work that out. And then I launched Blueprint and Beyond specifically for operation strategy and business development, business expansion.
And the thinking behind, because, like you said, you had a prestigious career in corporate, retail, and now entrepreneurship, that pivot. Because I remember, you could talk us through what your thinking was. I was at Teach for America, and I'm crushing it. Recruitment, our initiative is, I could probably pave my way. I could have, right? And I decided, I had just got married, and wifey, her love language is like time. She want me to be there.
QT.
Right? But I'm like the face of this thing that's growing. So I'm like giving talks, presentation, I'm flying all over. And then I was like, you know what? I wanted to go into entrepreneurship, get into real estate. And wifey, I'm going to tap out. And people couldn't even understand that. They're like, wait, hold on. You about to leave?
Yeah.
Like, you got this, you could go. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm going to go build this empire.
Yeah.
And they just couldn't understand. But you have to go build brick by brick when you have this.
It's not meant for anybody to understand. It's not.
Exactly, right? But so for you, I'm assuming that thought process was easy because you see a bigger vision.
No, I'm still a reluctant entrepreneur. I'm going to be honest with you. But I am not. I am extremely intelligent, and I go where the opportunity lies. So if I see a need and I know, and you know what the beauty of it is? For many years, people didn't know what I did. They know I work for corporate America. And by the way, it was planning and operations, but people didn't really know what I did. But there was something about me that they knew was good and articulate and intelligent and passionate and all those things. The past couple of clients that I've gotten were based on referral. And my first venture into working for myself and facilitating workshops and doing one-on-one sessions and coaching was based on somebody that I worked with before. And they said, oh, you're not working right now? This company needs someone to give financial insights, foresight. So basically looking at data scientists, and then coming up with strategies and forecasts to get people investment ready. Because people know their product. They know what they're, they know if you ask people the story of their product, they can tell you, but what's your financial story? Financial storytelling. So all these years in corporate America, I'm building public speaking, managing through ambiguity, all of these transformational skills that can transition from no matter what the industry is, data science. There is no bigger data sets than in retail.
Okay.
I'm doing things like for Ralph Lauren for many years, handbags, women's handbags and accessories. And my last gig was at West Elm, and we talking about decorative accessories, lamps, vases, all the things. So we talking about lots of SKUs, lots of data from lots of years. And then when you work with those kinds of companies, like I worked, my first gig out of college was with the Gap. So Gap, owns Banana Republic, Old Navy, et cetera, et cetera. So you have access to other sets of data. So even if you launching something brand new, you have some history of what it was like in a different environment, and you can find through that data to figure things out. And so that is a skill that is certainly transferable. And then presenting that to get buy-in. So it's negotiation skills, it's financial storytelling, it's passionate speak about things that people are intimidated by, numbers. Just like you went into that math class and that young man was like, no, that ain't it, sir. People hate math. People hate math.
I wish I remember who that was. I'd give him his flowers. But I had a spicy bunch back in that day.
Yeah.
Interesting. So tell me, what belief or mindset shift, what is a belief or mindset shift that changed everything for you, and how did that shape who you are today?
So I got to tell you, I read the run of show, and I thought the 3-2-1 was for the guests.
Oh, did you?
I thought the 3-2-1 was for the guests.
I gotta tell Sharon, we gotta make that clear.
I'm gonna make that clear, Sharon. Go ahead and do that. But the quotes that I came up with, and I was like, it was only like a half an hour before we were going to jump on, but the two quotes that came to me quickly. One is, how you do anything is how you do everything. I find that to be so true. And even in times where I had a job that I was overqualified for, or I'm doing something that I feel like is beneath me, nothing is beneath me. Nothing is beneath me, because how you do everything. And that's crazy, because when I came down here, one of my friends was like, I don't want to insult you, but we have this role, and I know you would kill it, and it would just be easy for you and whatever, right? So I got into the role, and I did a great job, all of that. So great that she was telling other people, which is how I got my primary client right now. She was like, I want her to do that for my organization.
Right.
Oh, that I want her to do that for my organization. And they was hating on me because it was a state job. And that's one thing I know, I can't work for the state. You can't be an out of the box thinker, progressive, all of that work for the state. So shout out to the people at the state though. Y'all was good people, but the system is flawed. But yeah, how you do. So even if you think you're doing something that's beneath you, people are watching, or it's humbling you to prepare you for when you are back in that great seat to do what you got to do. So how you do anything is how you do everything. So yeah, that's kind of like when I heard it, I was like, it's already a doctrine that I embody. I just didn't have the words for it. Like, so when I heard that quote, I was like, yeah. And it's like Zen Buddhism. It's they don't know where it comes from, but I heard it in a movie. I think I heard it in some movie. Anyway.
Okay. No, we received that. I like that. Actually, so we good on time. I got so much questions. We need like 2 hours, but
what's the top one? You got to prioritize.
Listen. They done got me. I probably got about 20 questions here. Shouts out to my team. We so prepared.
I love that. I love that. You got to have a good team. Shout out to the team.
Listen, y'all. It take time. Oh man, you gotta go through people, and there's this book.
And something tells me you're not the most easygoing person to work with. Some says that to me. I don't know. That was on my spirit. Someone put that on my spirit. I don't know. I don't know how that lands for you, but that was on my spirit.
No, listen, I receive it. I'm processing. There's this thought process, right? When you talking, I always say, should this be said? Should this be said now? Should it be said by me? So this internal,
let me jot that down.
should this be said? Should this be said now? Should this be said by me? So I do an internal filtration. I might give you a and I'm processing, and I typically defer to silence and just receive it. But yeah, that's funny. So listen, Miss Jackie, what advice would you give 18-year-old you?
That's a good one. And that when you said, should this be said now, should this be said by me?
Yeah.
It's similar to another practice that I adopted. I think it comes with maturity though, is don't always trust your first thought. Give it a minute.
Interesting.
Because I don't know if you watched that show, Being Mary Jane. You ever watch that show?
I've heard about it. I don't think I got tracked
It was Gabrielle Union was the star in it, right? And it was a series, and she was the one that made it. She was the one that went to college. She was the one that had, the money, the house, the cars, all of that, right? And she was always the one that somebody in her family asked for money. But she would say, wow, why you got so many kids? Like, if she would just say wow stuff, that kind of was me. Because I felt like, you pay the cost to be the boss. And, like if you are the one that is doing the stuff, you the provider, like you the one that's taking the check when the family goes out to dinner and all of that.
Right.
So I feel like I had the right. I was justified in saying, fix your life, get your life together. I don't do that anymore.
Maturity, right? I mean, I think back to younger me. My age is unknown, but younger me, and I'm like, different dude. You know what I'm saying? And like to your point, the experiences you have early, setbacks, failures, experiences, set you up for where you're going to be in the future.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Like, I mean, my patience, oh man, far, but as a teacher, as a spouse, as a father, now you get in business. Oh man. Now speaking of that, so what daily habits, rituals, boundaries, or systems? I know you're a woman of systems.
Am I? Yeah, in my professional life.
Please.
Oh my God. With all of that, I lead with I don't know if you would believe it or not, but I feel. I'm a Cancer, and I'm true to that, and I feel, and I'm emotional, and I go with what feels good. Aside from the things that the tasks and the deadlines and the things that I need to do, and I'm very structured and systematic when it comes to work and how I do work, and there's that flow, like you said, that cadence, that rhythm. Yeah. But every day looks different. Every day looks different. What I eat looks different. I make sure I get some mind foods in there, the blueberries, the salmon, the spinach. Like, I make sure, like, I'm intentional about that, because I'm intentional about, mental health as well as physical health. So that I do make sure I do that, teas, all of that. But every day looks different. The people I check in on look different. My morning ritual looks different. It's different. It's different every day. I don't have a system. Got it. Daily, but you wouldn't be able to tell that by the way my house looks or is run. But I just feel it. I just gotta feel it. I just gotta feel it.
What am I about to say? Feeling. Huh?
You didn't expect that. You expected me to have like a regiment. This what I do at 8 a.m. and then 11 a.m. I do this. Nope.
She said, feel it, y'all.
I feel it. I got to feel it.
So I think you touched on this earlier. So right now you're building Blueprint and Beyond.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And
so a couple clients, some major, a major one primary client, and then some other auxiliary clients, just in terms of capacity.
Right.
And that's why I made the correction between developing businesses and expanding businesses, because I don't work with new businesses. I need you to have some data.
Right.
I need you to have some successes, some failures, some key milestones, some
no projections.
Not all projections. Like you got to have projections, but I need you to have some past. Not just all. It can't be all potential. It got to be some achievements.
Well, what about the royalty project? I think you said Resurrection. Did I hear that?
Yeah. I just had a conversation with someone. Well, so I won't even call it sunsetted, but in our last session that we executed ourselves as an organization was fall of 2024, 23, spring of 2024. Okay. And so we made the decision, because I had moved down here, and there just a lot. And like I said to you, I was pouring into my marriage. I was trying to figure out what I was doing in terms of employment or entrepreneurship or, venture capitalism or whatever I was, you know what I mean? So I couldn't really donate the time and the space. And also it was 7-8 years. So it had a life cycle, So it was time for it to go to the next evolution. And what we had met and decided was the evolution was to package up the curriculum, package up the program, and lease it out to other organizations that wanted to execute it. But recently, Atlanta is the Black Mecca. And if you don't know, then come check it out. Like there's everything, entertainment, finance, InvestFest is here. There's so many things that are happening. And people keep asking me, past mentors, people who just seen a thing for something came up, royalty project, and they go back and they look at all the things. And we did a cycle documentary for every cycle. So every 8-week cycle, spring and fall, we did a cycle documentary that documented the experience and the difference between when you ask a youth before the program, what does it mean to be Black? And when you ask them at the end, it blows your mind. It blows your mind what we were able to expose our youth to in such a short amount of time. And it resonated with people. And even watching the experience, not even being in it, just watching it, it's provoked a lot. And so one of my clients was like, this could be the opportunity to launch it in Atlanta and go back to in-person sessions. And I think I think it's incredible, and we're working that out and seeing what the figures look like in terms of either fundraising or getting sponsorships and just key sponsorships to get that launched again. And what we would do, it wouldn't be grassroots like we did before. Before we were just on the ground, just getting donations, and sometimes I funded a whole cycle, Right. Back when I was riding around and getting it and just spending money. But what does it take to have a staff? What does it take to have, like we have all the incorporation, we have the 501c3, the foundation is laid. So now when you add a staff to it and you add support, you add funding, you add advertising, what could it be? So that's what we're working out right now. So I always knew there would be, that we would do sessions again. I just didn't know how and what capacity. And I'm glad I didn't force it.
Right.
I'm glad I didn't force it, because the team had done volunteer 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Like some of us were here from the inception, the brainstorming sessions in my apartment, and to just have people volunteer that whole time. Things happen, things happen. And that's why we made the model so simple for people to actually volunteer on those Saturdays. You don't have to come every Saturday. I know you're busy. I want busy people. Right. I want busy people. Because those are role models. I don't, want people on reality TV shows. Right. We are kids' role models, musicians and all that. We have role models in our neighborhoods that we need to tap into. So I'm glad to give everybody the opportunity to do that. But we were burnt out. And so I am looking forward to when we can have the funding to pay people for their time so that we can execute with excellence. And then that leads me to the Wellness Collective, which I don't know how your team found out about that. I do not know what kind of PI, investigator, Inspector Gadget. I don't know how that happened, but the Wellness Collective is something that I inherited. So I am a board member of an organization, getting my cheese back on my cracker. And that organization works to remove the stigma around mental health.
Mm.
And we do it in many ways. And I took over the Wellness Collective, which is a women's wellness group. And there are about 25 people in there strong, invitation only. And it's the foundation of what will be a much bigger thing. But right now we're cultivating it. We're seeing how it goes. You know, we go to social media, we go to different places to find inspiration. But right now we're building community in the Wellness Collective and getting what we need. You might have a thought about, okay, well, I just disciplined my son and and his father's not around, or I want him to learn a sport and his, whatever it is, you could put that in there and other women will pour into you, women that are that care about your success because they care about their success too and care about the value of the advice. We give a lot better advice to people than we do to ourselves. So it might be something that same woman would have said to another woman if she asked, but because somebody else said it, then it resonates more. And it's been such powerful conversations in there. And sometimes it's just as simple as, hey, sis, make sure everybody drinking water. Y'all drinking water out there? Like it can be that simple, or as deep as what dragons did you slay this week? And sometimes you slay them in silence. It's not about the battle or the war. It's like, it's when you didn't say something. Like should it be said? Right. Should it be said now? Should it be said by me? Like those kind of things. And I call us drums because we are the heartbeat of our lives. We are the tempo. We keep the tempo in our lives and everything, in our spouses, our significant others, our kids. A lot of us sandwich generation. So we're taking care of parents and taking care of kids. Our nieces, nephews, people at work come into our offices like, girl, I just need to tell you, like we are the heartbeats, of our lives. So I call us drums. So there's drums in here that's dropping knowledge, and it's going to be on a more public platform soon, but we got to cultivate this space and then see how to make it broader. Because that's important. Like you said, you got to pour into your cup first. And a lot of these people we don't pour into our cups first, and we need to be pouring from the overflow. We need to be pouring from the overflow.
Pour from the overflow. Listen, if for those watching, listen, tap into the chat because I've been just dropping these gems. I got arthritis. I knew it. I said, listen, let me tell you how she do me, y'all. So I head up. I'm like, Jackie, I need you on the show. She's like, all right. So I think we was booked up. I said, I'm booked up to December though. I don't know. I don't think I played out that far.
I don't know what my life is gonna be like in December.
I said, hey, Miss Sharon, we gotta get Jackie on here. Make it happen. It's like touching.
Sharon was like, an opening came up in August. I'm like, okay, that's the month we in. Let's do that.
That's how she do me, y'all. Listen, this is so much fun. One of the reasons I did this is one, to reconnect with my people, to leverage my platform to promote you all, and just build and grow. And then because at the end of the day, like sometimes we don't talk about what we're doing to each other, and we one conversation away from like a plug,
Absolutely.
And I always consider myself, I'm a power strip. I'm a power strip, baby.
Not just a plug. Get them all in.
Oh man. Last question. And you should probably share the quote or two. There might be another one in there. Yeah. But whose wisdom has stuck with you? Was a person, a principle, a powerful teaching, or a quote that's helped guide your way forward?
I'll say the quote that, and you know what, on my mind is always the most recent thing. So like I told you, I was reading, and I'm probably not supposed to be reading. It's probably supposed to be for men only, but The Way of the Supreme Man. That's a lot. There's a lot of gems in there. And for for my super feminist people, like just let your guard down for a second and just listen to what's being said. Don't judge too much. But a quote that I would always say at the beginning of every royalty project crowning is how I live my life. Go fast, go far. Go fast. You want to go fast, go alone. You want to go far, go together. I am really into building community. That quote resonates with me because when I, you know how you do, you want to run a fast errand, you want to go here and there, whoop, whoop, swip, 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 right? You go by yourself. But if you really want to build something, it can't happen alone. You know, shout out to Sharon. This can't happen with you alone. If you want to build something really big and magnificent, it can't happen alone. It doesn't happen alone. And even if you think it does, it's somebody that's dropping knowledge into you or creating space for you. That I was just at InvestFest on Sunday, and Magic Johnson was speaking about like how he got to where he needs to be. And he had to lock in on something for 3 years, but he checked in with Cookie and he was like, I got to lock in on this project. It's going to set us up for life, but I need you to hold down the house, do what you got to do. There are people in your life that make space for you to be great. And you got to check in with them. And the reason why you're able to go far is because you have a team. And even if that team is your wife or your spouse or whatever, whoever, your sister friend, your long-term friend from college, whatever it is, it's that person that's feeding and fueling life into you. And we need to respect what that does for us in terms of propelling us and pushing us into the people and the spaces that we need to be and keeping the momentum and keeping the success happening. So go far, go together.
Go far, go together. I love that. It's super true. I was telling, actually, I don't know if I had mentioned this. It was a thought earlier, and you probably said something crazy. The book.
Does that sound crazy? I've been working on that, Sean. I've been working on that. Saying, okay, no, go ahead.
Get on the bus. I think it's a short read, but you got to identify the people that belong on the bus to help you go where you need to go. But then they got to be in the right seat. And then you all got to have the same vision to go to the same destination. And that is just super key. I've had people on the bus that they need to be on the bus. Then the people on the bus in the wrong seat. And then people on the bus in the right seat had the right vision. Yeah. And all these things have to align in order for you to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish as a unit. But man, Miss Jackie, this has been fun. You got any final word before I give this dope wrap up?
I thought that was the final word. Go far, go together.
Listen, hey, she's on LinkedIn, y'all. Jacqueline Benjamin. Do remember what else we got? We got the Royalty Project.
Yes.
Tap into that this spring. I'm thinking, hopefully, right? We get this money up, this shmoney.
I told you a secret. Now you want to tell everybody, but that's we gonna replay this in the spring and be like, remember when we
run it back.
But you know what? Man. I've had enough successes that I don't mind telling people what I'm about to do. I used to not tell, and you don't know until I do it. You don't know until I do it. But because I feel, especially having successfully executed the Royalty Project, there's no doubt that it's coming back. It's just how. So I think the how is Atlanta, and I think it's in spring of 2026.
Love it. You heard it here first, ladies and gents, listeners and viewers. Miss Jackie, I am gonna put you in. You can stay and listen to me talk for a minute.
Okay.
Happy Wednesday again, good people. Listen, that's a wrap. If this thing spoke to your heart, share it forward. Take a moment to reflect on today's 3, 2, 1. And remember, your action item, take one bold step forward. Follow me everywhere. Let's stay connected, inspired, and building together. Grab your copy. Hold on. Wait, Jackie, you know what? I got to send you a copy.
Send me a copy. Damn. I don't know what you're talking about, but send me a copy.
I had to get out the frame for a minute.
Okay.
Unbreakable valor.
Yes.
Triumph through the soul of resilience.
Okay.
I got to get you
on Amazon. Where you at?
I'm everywhere. Amazon. Amazon for sure. Hey, for everybody that's already got it, do remember to go to Amazon and leave a review. Hello.
Yeah.
Actually, fun fact, I'll share this here. What's today? Today is the 28th, 7th, right? So on the 31st,
yeah.
I applied to the Global Book Award. I'm in the finalists, so we on the podium. On the 31st, we get to find out that we got that gold. So I'll share that next week.
Okay.
So yeah. So grab your copy, Unbreakable Valor. Join the Breakthrough Bunker, our free community to help you find clarity, direction, and motivation to live the life you dream of. Subscribe to the Breakthrough Bunker newsletter, your weekly dose of insight, inspiration, and tools to grow and go forward. We want to hear from you. So send us an email, breakthroughbunker@gmail.com. Any thoughts, questions, breakthroughs you want to share, we appreciate it. Shouts out to Quinn Sigmund Community College. I'll be putting on my Professor Murph hat next Wednesday. They in for a treat. It's like getting Spike Lee at NYU, baby. I'm coming. It's on and popping. And always know this, your breakthrough starts with you, because nothing changes if nothing changes. Do you remember?
Nothing changes.
It's all about you, y'all.
That's true.
Oh, yeah. What is that outro? How Deion saying is this? Get my theme music. Where's my outro?
Put it on my hood grown, NY, Brownsville, Bed-Stuy. I done came from the lowest lows, still walk with my head high. All my life, I've been through it. Made it out, and I'm getting to it. Can't tell me I didn't do it. No passing L's, we skipping clubs, no. Put it on my